Earlier today, an Mi-8 was shot down by a handheld SAM west of Sinval. The crew bailed out and were successfully rescued. It is now clear that a well-equipped, unconventional force is operating in the AO. In response, Command has decided to airlift a company of air assault troops from base Spora to the last known position of the enemy to conduct a search and destroy operation. This mission will be carried out by 3 Mi-8s, escorted by Mi-24s. Welcome aboard my Mi-8. I'm just going to lift off and get in formation with these other two Mi-8s in front of us here. Woo! And then I'll explain a little bit more about what's going on once we're underway. Now, given the tendency of the DCS AI to do a little bit of eccentric maneuvering when it comes to formation and station keeping, I'm going to give these guys lots of room and fly a very loose formation.
Flight, heading 155, speed 200.
Heading 155, speed 200, copy. Alright, off we go. Now, that heading of 155 and speed of 200 is going to take us towards Sinval. And as enumerated in the briefing, we are going to be airlifting some paratroopers out into the hills to the west of here, so that they can hunt down some unconventional forces who shot down one of our helicopters earlier today. This is mission 7 of the Spring Tension campaign, which comes with the Mi-8. Very good campaign. I do recommend giving it a go. And about a year and a half ago, I played through mission 6, in which the aforementioned helicopter shoot-down happened, and this mission is essentially the immediate follow-on from that. So, and these guys seem to be hedge-hopping over the trees a little bit, so yeah. Once again, I'll stay in a nice loose formation, and we will carry on south down the valley here to Sinval. We shouldn't take very long to get there. Okay, we're getting close to Sinval now. Flight lead is doing DCS AI things. We're flying fairly low as we come in towards the city. There's the base just over there. We'll be landing to pick up our air assault troops.
Speed 150.
Speed 150. Yeah, you don't seem to be maintaining a very consistent speed, but, you know.
This is 101, inbound for Spora, prepare for landing.
Right, I'll get myself slowed down here. Generally speaking, in the Mi-8, I'll make my approaches as gently as possible if it's not a combat landing, just to avoid that vortex ring state and to account for the fact that she's a large and somewhat cumbersome aircraft. Ignore our flight lead flying through the trees there. For some reason, that's not causing him any harm. I'll go for this far corner here, unless lead decides to land on it first. I think he might, actually. Okay, I'll take a different one then. How about this one? And be sure to keep it under 3 meters per second vertical rate to avoid that VRS. Come back into a hover, and we'll just set down very gently. Actually, shut the brakes off for now. Just apply them after touchdown. And here we are.
You're up.
Yeah, Chief, go get everyone inside. And I'll just have a sip of tea whilst you're loading them up. Lead still has his nav lights on. I turned mine off, since we're anticipating flying into combat. Incidentally, if you look at the pod on the side of his aircraft, we've got the same one, which is... Actually, you probably can't see it out the window. Whatever. We have the 30mm grenade launchers fitted, which, well, I personally tend to regard as a pretty singularly useless piece of kit. At the very least, I can't hit a sausage with them. So hopefully we won't be called upon to use it, although just in case we are, we'll get things set up a little bit. What is this?
101, 102, troops are loaded, ready to go.
103 ready.
Flight, prepare for takeoff. Here we go.
Alright, off we go again. I'll lift off and then just keep an eye on lead. And there's number 2. Please don't hit me. I'll just go a little bit wide so that he's so that I'm out of his way as he's forming up. That was a little closer than I really needed to get. Oh well. No one died yet. Although, in an effort to ensure that that remains the state of affairs, once again, I'll give them a little bit of extra space as we're forming up here. Okie dokie, that looks pretty reasonable. Lead really wants to trim the tops off of all the trees on the way over. But ours is not the reason why.
Flight, heading 275, speed 220.
Yeah, give me a minute. I need to give it full goose just to climb and accelerate with them. Keep an eye on that rotor RPM. Brakes off again.
103, keep up. Maintain formation.
I'm coming, keep your wig on. Okay. Now we can give it a bit more welly and get caught up. Whoa! Okay, well, I would thank you for slowing down so I could catch up, but holy moly, had to do a bit of a handbrake turn there. Alright. Yeah, I think I might just accept getting unpleasant language for being too loose in formation rather than have any, than be playing collision games with these guys. Anywho, we'll press on towards the landing zone.
Castet 101, entering the target area. Requesting LZ Polyana.
101, Castet, you are cleared for Polyana.
101, copy cleared for Banana.
Okie dokie, we are approaching the landing zone. And the other two chaps are getting themselves slowed down in a rather unorthodox fashion, so I'm just gonna hang back a bit and just land wherever they do. Where's Lead? He's disappeared under my nose. Ooh. Right there. He's still got his lights on, which is still puzzling me a bit. Okay, keep him in sight. Yeah, I'll just keep right out of your way, sir. But it looks like we're probably going to be landing on this hilltop here, so that's fine. But I'll wait until they set down, just so that I know exactly what our planned landing zone is. Keep out of number 2's way. Not the most organized thing in the world, but you know. Whatever. Hey, please don't smack me with your tail rotor. Good douche, keep out of the way. Alright, looks like Leeds guys have already disembarked. Somehow. I'll just basically set down in formation here and that should be fine.
Chief, make sure they debus okay.
Yeah, kick everybody out. Now, 3 Mi-8s can carry an entire airborne company, so we should have some serious strength deploying here. Should be nearly everyone unloaded.
"101, 102. Troops are deployed. Ready for takeoff."
103 ready.
This is 101, taking off.
Alright, off we go. Lift off gently. And give these guys a bit of room to get in formation. And then we'll be headed straight back to the base at Java, I believe. There's our hefty escort of Mi-24s, just in case anything untoward should have happened whilst we were landing here, but so far, knock upon the wood, nothing did. Which is good, because then I might have had to shoot the grenade launcher. I did get it ready just in case. Hopefully that won't be necessary. I vastly prefer the rockets or the cannons if I am carrying weapons on the Mi-8.
Heading 070, speed 220.
Copy 070-220. I suspect we'll just go straight east towards Sunval and then fly north up the valley to Java. That's kind of a bit of a logical route. It doesn't require us to fly over a whole bunch of mountains and ridge lines. But, well, wherever the flight lead goes, we shall follow.
Flight. Heading 325, speed 230.
Copy, heading 325, speed 230. So yeah, I was right about the route we're taking back. We're just passing over the north end of Sunval now, and now heading north up the valley back to the base at Java. And we should be there in just a few minutes.
Scala 101, passing destination waypoint at 200, turning to final.
101, Scala. Copy destination waypoint, turning to final.
Flight. Break formation and proceed with landing.
You heard them, we're passing the final waypoint and just about to arrive back at the Java helicopter base. I will probably let lead and number 2 land ahead of me just so that we don't get into any sort of conflict in terms of who's landing where. There's the base just over there. And since we will be landing, I will turn my lights back on, just so as not to create any undue confusion. And I'll just sort of hook around and wait for the other 2 to land. Is there a windsock down there somewhere? Yes, it looks like the wind is more or less from the east. So we'll hook around this way and land. You know what? Those guys are gonna take forever going out the other way. I'm just gonna sneak in ahead of them and land. Not pay them any mind. Yeah, I should be smart enough not to land on top of me, right? Right? I think so. We'll go for the far end. And just pick a pad. Reference that windsock again. Yeah. 090 should put us pretty much straight into the wind. So that's just fine. Well, not too terribly much exciting happened in this mission, but if we're flying a transport helicopter, that's just the way we want it, right? I guess enjoyers of a super comfy, uneventful sunset flight in the Mi-8 will be very, very pleased. I don't know what proportion of the audience that really represents, but hey, if people want more of that, I can do more. Anyway, I'll just make this as dainty as I possibly can. Alright, I'm going to stop a few meters above the pad, make sure we're nice and centered. And set her down like a feather.
This is 101. Well done today, boys. Time to shut them down.
Time indeed, but I'll omit the shutdown as a tedium avoidance measure and just say, yeah, mission success. Thank you for watching. This has been mission 7 of the Spring Tension campaign. I may feature even more missions from this campaign on an ad hoc basis in the future, though I don't really plan on playing through the whole thing. I hope this has been vaguely enjoyable to watch. Toodles.